One issue that was very important for us is the issue of respect to the site, and ultimately also respect to the families and loved ones of the victims, and be very careful with making any kind of insertions or constructions on the site. So we plan to really not touch the site, but rather create a structure that floats in that what's called the bathtub and gives that awesome spiritual idea of a space. So we said we're not at all going to touch the footprints. We're defining the edges of the footprints by building precisely outside of the footprints. The platform that we are proposing really is made out of these thousands of transparent tubes that give this very special, as we find, view up into the sky. There's a great transition between day and night. During the night, the whole platform is illuminated, and during the day, it allows the look up into the sky, so it lets light into that space of contemplation.
Between us, we call this platform the cloud. We call it the cloud because of this idea of something which hovers or floats and doesn't need support, and it is an entity, it has some mass, but it's very porous.
There's only very few moments where the platform really touches the ground. So for the most part, the experience is really that floating, transparent, at night glowing cloud, if you will.
We are proposing to represent the victims individually. Each of the victims should be represented by one light, which is streaming up from the sunken area of the site into that cloud. And at night it will be illuminating that cloud. It's more like a glowing stone or a glowing hearth.
We see the space below the cloud as being protected by the cloud above, obviously. And in that space is where family members can come and find not only their loved ones, but each other.
The level on top of the platform, since it is a site that will be visited by many, it will be a rather public experience.
The area on top is like a stitch in the city. It's like a Band-Aid over a wound. There are these three bridges, in a sense, that will allow people to cross the cloud and access one part of the site to another. Then as you descend, it's just more and more levels of discovery. You descend and you get a sense of upside-down landscape revealing itself beautifully.
There is the possibility to access the level of bedrock at certain locations throughout the site. What we propose is to have the chamber for the unidentified remains in that lower level, and we decided to have two more slices into the site, actually at the edges of the footprints of the towers, which also go all the way down to bedrock. So it's a very long and narrow space, so you have an extended amount of time where you really walk along that space.
We completely preserve the two footprints. We're picturing two large lawns where people can gather, and those are real grass surfaces. And that also ties into the idea of having both. On the one side, the protected, calm, enclosed space for remembering and respect for that ground and remembering the individuals, and a spiritual space. But on the other side, also having a space that is part of a very lively city.